Don't adjust your laptop screens, your computer screens, your television screens. Simcast is coming to Netflix. Anything you want to know about me, you'll find in this documentary. And the documentary is called Slim Fast. I'm just kidding, guys. Sorry, I had to do that. It's about how to get the perfect body. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Sometimes I just like to take the mickey out of myself. So anyway, I don't know how many of you have Netflix. And if you do have it, I'd like you to, tell me what you like to watch on Netflix. I tend to like to watch. I mean, Netflix is fantastic, but there is a lot of stuff that I don't really care for on Netflix. I like to watch the dramas, especially true crime related dramas. So docudramas is probably my favorite thing to watch on Netflix. I've watched the Aaron Hernandez case, which was, honestly, I've never seen anyone fall so far from grace ever. I don't know why, but I couldn't get into the Steve Avery one. But that is I would have to do a whole episode on that because that is so complex. I watched the Tiger King, but I still haven't finished watching the second installment of the Tiger King. But what I'm really doing this episode for is because Lori Vallow, her documentary has finally come to Netflix. And so this is basically the intro to that. I'm very excited to share with you that the Lori Vallow documentary is going to be premiering on Netflix very soon. And I would like you, if you have Netflix, to watch it. Because I think that this is a case that everyone should know about if you're interested in true crime. So I want to talk about Netflix and the upcoming premiere documentary, Sins of Our Mother, which is the story of Lori Vallow Daybell. Now, I started my channel with the Lori Vallow Daybell case. I did a few What's videos, and then I went on to the Lori Vallow Daybell case. And the Lori Vallow Daybell case was the building foundation of my channel. That's where I got my initial subscribers from. And I want to make this advertiser friendly, so I'm going to be careful about what I say and how I say things. There's been a lot of true crime documentaries on Netflix. We've had the Tiger King, which was a phenomenon. We had the Watts case, which we all know is a phenomenon on YouTube. And I was waiting patiently for the Lori Vallow Daybell case to be aired, and the story is going to be told through the narrative and the eyes of her son, who has recently gotten himself into trouble. His name is Colby Ryan, and if you want to find out about him, you can go and research. But I think what is so captivating about the Lori Vallow Daybell case, and I'm going to state the obvious, Lori Vallow Daybell was, not anymore, because she's been inside for a while. She hasn't had access to products. And I think her state of mind has made her not as physically attractive as she once was. But I'm going to state the obvious. She was a beautiful woman, and she was the girl next door, and she was considered an amazing mother. And, she was a suburban wife, middle class, and on the surface everything seemed okay. And I've delved deep into Lori Vallow's psyche. I've researched her. I've watched interviews on her by various different people. I've watched countless documentaries. There's been countless documentaries on the Lori Vallow Daybell case. Basically speaking, she's a mother who met a man who appeared to have very extreme beliefs, and she changed and she turned on her own children. And when she was getting married in Hawaii to her new husband, her children, who were dependents and who she had told everyone in her family that she was keeping them safe. Her children were in her new husband's back garden while she was getting married on a beach in Hawaii. After they'd been missing for a very long time, and people were questioning, asking her where her children were, and even the authorities got involved. But no one knew that as she was getting married on a beach in Hawaii, that her children were in her new husband's backyard. And Lori Vallow didn't seem to have a care in the world about what was happening with her children as she got married. Now, this is a woman who was considered a good mother. Her own mother said she was a devoted mother. Her sister said, this is a woman who would do anything to protect her children. Even her own son, Colby Ryan, said that she was a great mother. The most important thing in her life were her children. And yet she turned on them. And I think Lori Vallow is a fascinating woman. It's a fascinating case because of how normal she appeared to be on the surface. But I've watched quite a lot of footage on Lori Vallow. I've seen her appear on game shows, beauty pageants, and it's what strikes me about her is her narcissism. And I think maybe people didn't see it at the time when they were engaged with her in conversation or when they observed her. They didn't notice that this was a living, breathing narcissist. And because she's attractive, she's able to manipulate very easily. She's attractive and she's engaging. So people probably didn't realize that they were dealing with a narcissistic person. To cut a long story short, I don't think she just suddenly changed. I think there was always something wrong with her in terms of, I think she was always self-serving. I'm not saying that she wasn't a good mother, but I think that she was always self-serving. You see, she's been married multiple times. Chad Daybell was her 5th marriage. And I'm not saying that a woman marrying 5 times makes that person a bad person. Marriages don't work out and people get married and remarried. But 5 times is a lot. So that suggests to me that she's somebody who likes to discard. And that's what's happened with her children. She discarded them for something that she thought was better, more appealing, and more fun. And the reason why she ultimately doesn't care is her narcissism. And what really struck me, because the documentary that will be premiering on Lori Vallow Daybell is going to be told through the eyes of her son. And you hear recordings in the trailer of her speaking to her son and him asking her, what happened, Mum? What happened? And she just keeps saying, you don't understand. You don't understand the background. You don't understand the story. You don't understand. She never, ever explains why she lied about her children being protected. She never explains why her children ended up in her husband's back garden. She never takes responsibility for her actions. And that's because she's a narcissist. And extreme narcissists like her, they never take responsibility for their own actions. Nothing is ever their fault. And I think she should have had the trial should have happened a long time ago, and she should be serving her rightful sentence. I think she's been handled with kid gloves, and I think it's very sad.